Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy whatever today is, Tuesday to everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So had quite a bit of the team actually today working on this puppy. So why don't we go ahead and start by talking about what happened on it. So let's talk about the upholstery first. So Mr. Santiago, our upholstery magician, started working his magic here. You can see headliner going in on the sides and on the cargo doors. Yeah, so far so good. And he's got the top all stripped down, and looks like he's got the Dynamat on there already. I didn't even realize he did that literally until just now. So yeah, Dynamat is installed, and so next will go the padding, and then finally, of course, the headliner itself. So yeah, coming right along. Before the headliner goes in all the way though, what we need to do is we need to fix this. So you can see he's got the cover off it and stuff. So what happens with the, well, for those of you that don't know, this is basically your fresh air ventilation system on these buses. So there is, again, this is just for the people who may not be super familiar with these buses. So there's air inlets up here, kind of at the top of the windscreen area. And those let air in through here. And through various flaps and stuff, you can kind of control where that air comes, you know, through the sides or through the back, etc. And so, again, there's flaps in there that have rubber seals on so that when you close it, for example, you don't still get airflow. Anyway, over, 50, 60 years, whatever, those rubber flaps, of course, get all crispy and crusty. And so what the owner said when he drives the car, he gets little pieces of black, crispy seals kind of like shooting out of the openings at him, at his head, essentially sitting over there in the driver's seat. So he asked us to go ahead and replace the seals on the flaps in there. And so that really needs to be done before the headliner in this section at least goes in. So Santiago is taking the lead on that. He started pulling it apart. We got the new seals already from Wolfsburg West. I don't know if they're here somewhere. Anyway, so there's a couple of the doors, so to speak, right there. And then yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's happening because nobody wants crusty chunks of 65-year-old plastic shooting in their face and their eyes when they're trying to drive their bitchin' vintage VW bus down the street. So anyway, that was Santiago's day mostly. So one thing that Rafa noticed when he pulled out the fixed windows in the front. So again, he had fixed windows here. He bought a Safari window kit for it, and that's one of the things we're doing is installing that. But a lot of times when you remove fixed windows, what you find is you find a lot of rust at the bottom of the channel where the window sits here. And this was no exception. So lots of like pitting and stuff on here. I think I might have shown this yesterday. Anyway, so today this is where Renee got involved here. So he basically did body work on that, cleaned it up, and primed and painted it. And again, the owner supplied a couple different cans of paint, and neither one of them were actually a great match to the green on the bus. In fact, you can kind of see the line right there. But Renee was actually able to, I don't even know how he did this, but somehow he was able to tweak the paint to get it to be a much better match as far as matching the existing paint. So once he actually blends this and then gives the whole thing a polish so that it's, it's sort of shiny down here as it is up there, it's going to look great. You won't really so much notice that there's been a little paint work done. But anyway, yeah, with the Safaris, when you open them, you pretty much see this lip here. This lip is exposed because when the Safaris are out, all you have seal-wise is like a kind of a strip that runs along the flange on the window here. So anyway, we had to take care of that. So yeah, Rafa and Renee were kind of working on that together. Rafa also took the 6 pop-out windows, so 3 on each side, and started disassembling them, and they were actually in pretty bad shape. They the frames themselves had a lot of rust on them, and the screws in them were, you know, sort of rusted into them, which is not uncommon at all on these. I mean, again, remember, this is a 67 bus, so it's getting pretty old and things rust. But anyway, so yeah, what we're actually going to do when we sort of did the math, the time that it would take to do, you know, body work, etc. on those 6 pop-out frames, it doesn't make any sense. New pop-out frames are available from Wolfsburg West as bare frames, because we already bought all the seals for them. So there's actually 3 seals per pop-out window. So we bought those already. And then what else? Yeah, he has really nice original glass. So all that stuff will go on to basically new pop-out frames. And then, of course, we'll also paint them to match the body. So it's going to look amazing. But yeah, so that was kind of unexpected. But, you know, again, sometimes when things are in that bad a shape and nice reproductions are available, it makes sense to just basically put new ones in versus trying to restore original ones and have them be not as nice as new ones would be and end up costing more by the time we were to restore them. So it's one of those things, little surprises like that sometimes pop up on these kind of projects. Again, these cars are very old, so you kind of never know what you're going to find. But anyway, yeah, so that was pretty much Rafa, Santiago, and Renee working on this one today. I believe that, let's see, Raul, what was Raul doing? I think Raul was still doing some sanding and so on the 67 Beetle over there. And see, I think he actually started stripping the interior for that one as well, as far as like removing the old seat covers and stuff like that. So when we're at the point where we're ready to start on the upholstery for that one, then those seats will already have at least some level of preparation done, the seat frames, that is. So yeah, that was pretty much what the team was up to today. What I was up to today, other than answering the phone a lot, I don't know what, it seems like sometimes it's like that. Tuesdays, lots and lots of people call. I can't even tell you how many phone calls and emails and some texts I got today from mostly from potential new customers. And again, not complaining in any way, shape, or form. Please, if you're thinking about calling, please do it. Happy to discuss your project with you. The only reason I bring it up is that ultimately it takes away some time from having fun working on things like that. So today the mini monster here, this 1500cc 36 horse, pretty much went back together. I still need to put the valve covers on it and the fan belt and some little, very minor little things like that. But essentially it's back together. Everything that's on there now is like bolted on, you know, for good. So yeah, I need to put on those last few things and then probably go ahead and put oil in it and fire it up on the test stand here, double check everything, and then I'll start seeing about getting with Brian Roth to strap this little baby on his dyno and see what it does. Again, not expecting like a huge horsepower number. This motor is built for torque. Remember, it still has 36 horsepower heads on it, which are of course single port. We did put bigger valves in them. We put valves in them out of Ocrasa heads, which are a little bit bigger than what came in a stock 36. And then Mr. Clydeberg himself did a little cleanup of the port port work and stuff like that. And then we bumped the compression quite a bit, and it's got a little cam and obviously these little dual carburetors and 1500 cc's roughly instead of roughly 1200. So it's going to be a pretty stout little motor for something based off a 36 horse. But again, it's not going to have a huge horsepower number, but I'm expecting it to be pretty damn torquey. So we will see. Maybe, I don't know, maybe even later this week or early next week, we'll strap this puppy on the dyno and beat on it a little bit, and then get some numbers. And then pretty much after that, it's going to be ready to go to its forever home in that beautiful 54 Barndoor parked right there, guys. So, I think that's pretty much it today, guys. That is what happened here. Pretty much this thing going together and this thing in various states of progress here, and the interior and windows and stuff like that. So thank you guys, as always, for watching. Appreciate it very much. And we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.